Many parents remember moments when their baby was crying and they weren't sure what the right thing to do was. Do I go in again? Do I wait a little longer? Am I helping or making things worse? These questions usually don't come from theory. They come from exhaustion, from uncertainty, and from wanting to do the right thing for a small human who cannot explain what they feel. In this video, we'll look calmly at what babies and young children actually learn when they cry and no one responds, and why simple presence can matter more than we're often told. This isn't about judging past decisions. It's about understanding what supports a child's emotional development and what supports parents as well. Many parents remember moments when their baby was crying and they weren't sure what the right thing to do was. Do I go in again? Do I wait a little longer? Am I helping or making things worse? These questions rarely come from theory. They come from exhaustion, from uncertainty, and from wanting to do the right thing for a small human who cannot explain what they feel. In this video, we'll look calmly at what babies and young children actually learn when they cry and no one responds, and why presence, even quiet presence, can matter more than we're often told. This is not about judging past decisions. It's about understanding what supports a child's emotional development and what supports parents as well. Crying is not manipulation. It is not strategy. And it is not something babies do to test limits. Crying is a biological signal. In early life, a baby's nervous system is still developing. They cannot calm themselves down in the way adults can. They rely on an external nervous system, usually a caregiver, to help them return to balance. This doesn't mean you need to stop every cry immediately. It means that crying is a request for connection, not a problem to solve. Sometimes the most supportive response is simply being there, holding, breathing, staying close, without trying to fix anything. When a baby cries and no one responds, the body doesn't automatically relax. Stress hormones rise, the heart rate increases, breathing becomes shallow or irregular. Often the crying first becomes louder and more intense. If the crying eventually stops, it doesn't always mean the baby has calmed down. In many cases, the nervous system shifts from active distress into a protective shutdown. The baby stops signaling, not because they feel safe, but because signaling no longer brings relief. This is why silence alone isn't a reliable sign of comfort. A gentle alternative isn't constant intervention, but letting your presence be felt, even briefly. So the nervous system learns that stress is shared, not faced alone. Babies don't learn lessons the way adults do. They don't learn rules or explanations. They learn patterns. Over time, repeated experiences shape expectations. When distress is followed by comfort, the nervous system learns that stress passes and that help exists. When distress is consistently met with absence, the nervous system may learn that connection is uncertain and that intense emotions must be handled alone. This learning is not conscious. It becomes background knowledge, the emotional climate a child grows up with. What helps here is not perfection, but predictability. Being mostly responsive most of the time is enough to build a sense of safety. Many parents notice that after a while, their baby cries less when left alone. This can feel reassuring, but reduced crying doesn't always mean reduced stress. Sometimes it means the baby has learned to conserve energy rather than express need. True emotional regulation looks different. It includes recovery, flexibility, and the ability to express discomfort safely. If a child learns that emotions can be expressed and met with calm presence, they don't need to suppress them later. Supporting expression doesn't mean encouraging distress. It means not withdrawing from it. Responding to crying does not mean overstimulating a child. Presence can be quiet. It can be holding without talking, sitting nearby, a calm voice, slow breathing. The goal isn't to make crying stop quickly. The goal is to help the nervous system settle. Over time, children internalize these experiences. They begin to calm themselves because they have learned how calm feels. Independence grows from repeated safety, not from emotional isolation. As children grow into toddlers, crying changes. Toddlers cry from frustration, disappointment, overwhelm, and big emotions. Leaving a toddler alone with intense feelings doesn't teach emotional strength. It teaches emotional loneliness. That doesn't mean removing boundaries. Boundaries are important, but boundaries work best when emotions are acknowledged and connection remains present. You can hold limits without withdrawing emotionally. This combination supports resilience. Many parents worry that responding too much will create dependency, that their child won't learn to cope. These fears are understandable, but emotional availability doesn't weaken children. It strengthens them. Children who feel safe expressing distress tend to develop stronger self-regulation later. They don't remain dependent forever. They internalize support. They learn that emotions can be felt, survived, and shared. You don't need to respond perfectly, you don't need to respond instantly, and you don't need to eliminate all crying. What matters most is consistency, presence, and repair when things don't go as planned. Parenting isn't about controlling emotions. It's about accompanying them. Crying is not a failure of parenting. It is part of development. What shapes a child is not whether they cry, but whether they are alone in it. If this perspective feels grounding or supportive, you're welcome to return for more calm, thoughtful guidance. You are not spoiling your child. You are teaching safety.